Strive for improvement, time for the blueprint. Minds to elevate, thrive, and demonstrate, planting a movement. Sow the seeds, educate the flourish, building up the team. Our network with purpose, industry is green. Only scratch the surface, know this call is deep. Nobody gon' outwork us. Yeah, we chasing greatness, trying to give the code. Moving up with patience, foundation stone. Doing what it takes, we're here to break the mold. This for anyone who wanna level up. Let's grow.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Plant Movement Podcast. I'm blessed enough to say that I'm your host, Willie Rodriguez, and this episode, guys, is very, very powerful. For you guys that continue to watch and soak up on our content, we love you guys. If you're new and you're here to see what this is all about and what we're going to talk about today, hold on tight, guys. We are the Plant Movement. Our mission is to really connect people together, professionals that come through, because we know how hard it is to find people that actually come through. And aside from that, show our love and passion for the industry. I myself am a 15-year nursery owner, started from zero, made it somewhere, and now we're here trying to give back and do what God has called us to do, something bigger and greater. And here we are today with another nurseryman to bring you guys fire content on what is going on today, how the market has changed, how to pivot, what to do, what we're doing. Two different individuals. I'm super excited. We're super blessed to do this. I love you guys. I want nothing but the best for you guys. Get ready. Hold on tight. Take notes. There's a lot of hard-hitting messages in this episode, so get ready, guys. Without further ado, let's jump right in. For you guys, this has been a very anticipated episode. We have been putting out stuff on social media platforms, to mostly Instagram and Facebook, to be able to get you guys' feedback. Today we're going to be talking about the market. Today we're going to be talking about what's happened, what's going to happen. Just so much, right? The world today is just so wild, so crazy. The topic of conversation, throughout the industry is, dude, it's slowed down. What's going to happen? People freak out. That's been a topic. Not with everybody. Other guys are crushing it, slamming, hitting home runs, busy for the next 6 months. It's all over the place, but I feel like it's something that needs to be talked about. Eddie brought it up and said, dude, let's bring AJM Nursery back. So he's back. Today we're just going to brainstorm, two guys really duking it out. So thank you, my brother, for coming.
Definitely, man. My pleasure.
Woo! I'm excited for this
back.
episode. I'm excited for the questions. I'm excited for just everything in general, because this, at the end of the day, for you guys that don't know, there's no real content out there. There's no newsletter you can receive. There's nothing out there that talks about what can you do today? What's going on today? There's nothing like that. So the fact that we have created a voice for the industry, to me, it's like God's plan. I look back and I'm like, dude, God set us up to be at specific times to do something powerful for specific reasons that is so much more than us.
Yeah, definitely. It's a perfect platform. It's really the only platform really in our industry right now that's just, giving out all that information.
Yeah, I
so
love
very
it.
Powerful.
Very powerful, man.
Very powerful.
So to start off, you were on episode 22 for you guys. That episode was launched in September of 2022. So almost 2 years ago. If you guys want to hear about how things were back then, you can jump on there. It was the same type of content that we're going to be recording today that you guys are listening to now. And I feel like it was very relevant then. Today, just give us an overview of yourself, just for people that don't know who you are.
I'm Alfredo Miranda. I'm the owner of AJM Nursery Inc. Our main location's here in Homestead, Florida, right on Chrome Avenue. We grow a lot of native trees, tropical palms and plants. Most of the stuff is 7-gallon to 100-gallon. And then, we broker, we source out. We ship a lot throughout the entire United States, Canada, the Caribbean, a lot to the Bahamas.
New York, Jersey.
Yeah, a lot to New York, Jersey.
You can't, bro. You gotta promote.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Nah, dude. Yeah. And you have 10 acres.
10 acres, yeah.
10 acres.
Avenue, yeah.
Yeah. So you've been in the industry for how long?
I've been in the industry my entire life. I started my company 2007, around there, up in Palm Beach County.
Mm-hmm. And then you moved down here in
2013.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, so you know a thing or two. Also, your grandfather's been in the industry for what, 50 years?
He had a business. He had nurseries for 62 years, I believe it was. Yep.
Wow.
So I grew up in the industry. So I was a little kid. This is
talk about mentor, right?
Yeah.
Talk about guidance and know what could happen and someone to lean on.
Yeah, and I've seen the industry, in every different stage, and I've seen it grow heavily.
Yeah. So today, let's jump right in, dude. The questions I feel like we'll answer them maybe midway, if not towards the end. But the questions they're really good.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And if you guys ever have a question for us, you can always reach us. You can always reach us on Instagram at the Plant Movement Podcast. You have a question for AJM, you can reach out to AJM Nursery on Instagram, and you know, I'm for sure 100%
Yeah,
will
we
answer
have
you guys'
Instagram,
question.
post a lot on there.
We post a lot on there. So talk to us, dude. I want to jump in straight into just like the market topics. One thing that I would like to start with is how things have been versus how they are today versus how they might be in the next 6 months to a year. And that's something that we don't know, but it's something that we definitely do prepare for, because all that stuff that we're doing today is in preparation for the next year, 2025,
Correct.
for a total year, even into 26 and 7, because I have plants that won't be ready till then.
Correct.
And so, you know, we were projecting on different things, different numbers. How have you seen it evolve from, let's say, pre-COVID to COVID time to today? Let's talk about that.
Well, I mean, to start off with, I think COVID time we got to put that in an era all by itself.
Mm-hmm.
That was something incredible that happened, you know, in both negative ways and positive ways.
Mm-hmm.
For this industry, there was a lot of positivity that came with it. We saw growth of well over 100%, well over that.
Yeah, even with people that have been, you know, with the same amount of land, or let's
yeah.
like everybody grew. Everybody,
Correct.
because product was selling so much faster than it normally was.
So fast, yeah. You know, we hear a lot about inflation and all that. Inflation, you know, truthfully wasn't even that impactful during those COVID years in this industry, because the product was moving.
Yeah.
You know, and you could raise, you know, we had to raise our prices, but you could raise your prices and it didn't matter. The product still moved even faster as we increased prices. I think now we're coming out of the COVID era and we're going back to just, you know, normal stuff. Not saying that I expect sales to slow down year round, but we're going to have our typical slow months that we had in 2018, 2019, the typical stuff.
Yeah, summer slowdowns.
Correct.
And now it's hotter than it's ever been too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that go into summer slowdowns, guys. For us, we do grow 12 months a year.
Yes.
Down here in South Florida, every grower pretty much does, except the ones that pump out to the northern markets strictly, like 3-gallon, 1-gallon material. That stuff they really don't start planting until it's about time to jump into that season. So let's say 6 months, 8 months prior. So there's properties now that are empty. They're not even planting yet because it's not
Yeah,
time
the product grows so fast.
But we grow 12 months out of the year, but we sell pretty much 10 months out of the year. There's 2 to 3 months that are slower, which is known as summer. And there's a lot of factors that go into why summer slows down. Most of the country goes on vacation because kids get off of school. That's pretty much the biggest thing. The heat plays a factor, but let's be real, it's hot all the time, and the landlord or the guy that owns the building or the developer doesn't care if it's hot or not because he's not hot. So, and he wants it done. So that's not really an excuse. What happened? Hurricanes, yes. So hurricanes have a huge part in this.
Season.
No, they do, because if let's say somebody wants to spend $200,000 on their landscaping for their house to, you know, level up the value of their property, now's not the time to do it because a hurricane can come, and like right now we're supposed to have like the most wildest season for hurricanes.
I think that's another huge impact on why we're seeing it, you know, a little bit slower than last year and years prior as well. Is that this year the hurricane season was predicted to be, you know, horrific.
No,
very, very
those
active.
Those are big things. But like looking back, like me, I have so much data from just all of the things that we do at A's.
Yes.
That the data doesn't lie. And the data too, what has caused, let's say, somewhat of that slowdown too, is the end consumer. I've seen that big time. So, you know, you have that, and I've talked about it on podcasts. You have that middle class customer, they're hurting, dude. You know, it is what it is. You know, the reality is that everybody's tight, you know, for the most part. Unless you're banging them, you know, you're making a lot of money, you're going to be tight. You know, I have buddies that make $200,000 a year, household $250,000, household tight. You know, they live a good life, but tight. You know? Go ask them for $20,000, they don't have it. Right? So it's like you got to be realistic. And they are not even spending money on their landscaping. That's like priority. That's like not even a priority.
Yeah.
So that market got hit pretty hard. So, I feel like we're left with developers. We're left with buildings, like let's say businesses and like high rises and hotels,
Yeah.
right? And then we're also left with the rich guy, that it doesn't matter, that he's going to make money
Correct.
regardless. He's all connected.
And they're going to spend. And
They're going to spend regardless. They just make more, right? So that's where we're left with. So it's like, as a business owner in the industry, my 100%, like one of the game plans strategy that's been a strategy for a long time is how can we jump on that train?
Yeah.
And then how do you jump on that train? That's something very important that I feel like everybody should know. Who are you servicing and who do they service? Okay, if you get those things and you understand that, you can build a massive company. You can build so many opportunities for yourself. You can add services because you know that the people that
are going to continue.
They're going to continue to use it.
You always want to try to chase the top players.
Yeah, the top players. So, if you're growing, it's like, okay, I'm growing 1 gallon starter plants. Who can I sell them to? Oh, maybe I sell them to this nursery that they're always pumping out product.
Correct. Yeah, you don't have to sell. You don't have to try to. I mean, you always want to try to sell direct and all that, and I guess it all depends on what your industry is. But there's also ways to get to that top 1% by selling to the guys that are servicing those.
Yeah, that might be the volume. You
Correct.
can. You might be right now a person that sells online, and you bought 1,000 of whatever, right? And they're not moving, right? Etsy.com's not moving, eBay's not moving. All these ship my plants, like someone else that we interviewed. They're not moving on there. You're doing the retail. Maybe it's time to jump on plantand.com and open an account. Maybe it's time to jump on Bedrock, call Bedrock Plant Finder and make a listing.
Yeah, different avenues.
Different avenues, and someone can come.
Gain those new clients.
Yeah, you might not be able to sell it for $20. You might be selling it for $5, but hey, you're gonna learn a lot. And
I think that's one of the biggest things right now. I think that's one of the biggest things right now where we can't. A lot of people, I think, just got used to just doing their thing, and it was just moving like that. But
very easy.
You got to market yourself now, and you got to venture into different markets, different areas, whether it be wholesale, retail.
You got to be moldable.
Yeah, you have to market yourself. You have to market your company right now.
I feel like you got to be super moldable. You got to be willing to do whatever comes to mind.
Correct.
And whatever makes sense, you go. Like if you have to pivot your full inventory, who cares?
Then that's what you have to do.
That's what you have to do. Like there's product right now that is scarce that people are looking for that won't be available for a year or two, really, because that's how long it takes to really get that ball rolling.
Yeah.
But if you're the first one in a year or two from now, you're hitting grand slams all day. Once that happens,
and it's good to look for those trends, and that's big, calling and networking with other people, other nurseries in the industry, and find those trends and see what people are missing and what's needed, and maybe plant that.
Yeah,
so
100% plant that. One thing to give you guys a tip. One thing is natives wherever you're at. Natives, I feel like are coming back big time, and there's a shortage of that here, in many different kinds of natives. Sure. Where some there's an abundance of, some there's not enough of. We get calls for 2,000-3,000 of whatever, and they're nowhere to be found, and
they're getting pricey because not a lot of people are selling them.
Yeah, so you're in a market.
2-3 guys that are selling, one plant for instance, like sea lavender, for instance, not a lot of people are growing them. There's a shortage, and natives are always going to sell.
And then what's cool about it is wherever you're listening to us at, I don't know your market, I know the Florida market very well, but wherever you're listening to us at, there's natives that are native to you. Yeah. So you could see how things are. You could jump on different platforms like the Plant platform, and you could do a quick search, or you could even do a Google search. You could do a Facebook market search. Like you could do so many different searches and see what's available. And if there's nothing available, maybe you hit up a couple landscape companies that install and ask them, hey, you're having trouble finding this, finding trouble that.
Exactly. Network.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And from there, now you have a great game plan, a strategy on what you should do. And now you have that 6 month, I'm going to invest here, I'm going to do this, bam, 6 months, you're turning around a 3 gallon, you're turning around a gallon. And now you're starting to, create opportunities in a positive way. But you got to be open for that. You got to be moldable. You got to be ready to do whatever. And, and if you're a business owner listening to this, that's your job at the end of the day. And if you're someone that works somewhere, you need to bring the creativity at the end of the day. because of that, or you got to go somewhere where they let you be creative, because that's tough too. A lot of people in this industry, they don't have that mind of, oh, this guy is good at this, let's put him here. It takes a special person to see that and allow that. It's different in this industry. So the market today has slowed down. It has. Oh, and one thing that's causing all this problem is, let's be real, it's everything that's going on around the world.
Which is something that I was going to say. Yeah, I mean, right now we have, it's a presidential election year. A lot of people hold back. They want to see what's going to happen. There's a lot of mess going on.
There's a lot of mess. I feel like the biggest mess
right now.
I feel like the biggest mess isn't so much politics, because I feel like a lot of the people that are making money, they realize it's more like a movie. That's what's being played.
Correct.
At least I don't pay attention to too much of it, because at the end of the day, it doesn't, what's green is green, like you said.
What's green is green, yeah.
That's
green is green. I don't get
into
politics. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
None of that really matters. Yeah. None of that matters. Your opinion doesn't matter. Nothing matters, because at the end of the day, we don't have control.
But those are variables that could also, and I've been in business for a while, so I've been through, several presidential election years, and it typically slows down a little bit.
100%.
Like I said, people tend to hold back a little bit, see what the market's going to do. And
yeah, we have an inflated market right now.
Correct.
We have a stock market that's inflated. We have real estate that's inflated in different parts.
A correction in all markets. Real estate, the plant business.
Is foreseen.
It was going to happen. It has to happen.
And it's going to happen.
It's healthy.
It's going to happen.
Correct.
So then that can take us into, you need to focus on what you can do and control, okay? If you feel called to go do something in politics and stand up for whatever it is that you believe, then you need to go do that, okay? But if not, you need to shut up and just keep going, okay? And focus on what you're doing.
That's the thing. I don't, I think, I get a lot of calls.
We all
I've been
calls.
getting a lot of calls. People concerned, asking for opinions, which is good. We all do it, and it's good to do that. I don't think that this is going to collapse.
Yeah.
Me personally, this is not financial advice, business advice. Me personally, I don't think it's going to collapse. I think this is, I go back 2019, 2018, 2017 and take a look. I can tell that July is slow. January is going to be slow. We plan for this. Hopefully during the COVID years, everybody was able to save some money, and now is the time. You take these slower months, and for instance, us at AJM, we're planting heavy. We have orders for next year. We already have projections for next year. All in all, this year has not been bad.
Yeah.
This year we're on track to still, gross more than last year.
Okay.
But now we're having the slower months where, before it was 12 months out of the year, very busy. So, I think there's just a lot of variables. I think that people are a little bit concerned because we haven't seen this type of slowdown for the past 3 years. But I don't think that we're going to face,
catastrophe.
No.
I
think we still, I recommend in a sense, again, there's not financial advice or anything like that, but, keep planting, keep grinding, keep hustling, keep marketing yourself, your business.
100%.
Don't cut back on quality. If you're going to cut back on, maybe, going out to eat or something on a weekend. Maybe don't go out to eat every weekend.
But I know, but at this point, you're a business owner. Like, food is not gonna make.
But I wouldn't cut back on fertilizing. I wouldn't cut back on spraying, because that's how we're gonna make our money.
Yeah. And then labor, you can't.
I think what we have here is a couple months here. It's gonna be a little bit slower than normal, but for me, take advantage of it and plan heavy.
Yeah, 100%. No, I see it, and I see it different for people that. So someone starting off is equivalent to someone that's continuing to grow. Okay.
Correct.
So then, you have your 10 acres, you're going to stock it up. Once it's stocked up, you really have no more overhead investment, really, other than just maintaining everything.
Correct.
Yeah, your initial big hit is you invested. Set it and forget it type thing. Let's maintain it. But then someone that's starting off or someone that is growing, we fall under the same category, guys. Listen to this. Someone that is trying to reach $100 million has the same mindset and problems as the guy that you're trying to start off, trying to figure out what am I going to do. It is the same boat. Yes. That's the same boat. So I sit more on that boat, and AJM sits more on his boat, which is, 10 acres has been 10 acres, has been 10 acres, yes. and you roll. So for someone like that, you guys are super, super stable when it comes to all of this, because there's money put away, there's this, there's that, because there hasn't been excess of having to invest in new adventures.
Correct.
Even though you do invest in other adventures, but they're not pertaining to the nursery.
To the nursery business,
right?
Correct.
Which you've had some fun. He's had some fun.
Correct.
He's had some fun. You know, and it's been a great run. You know, I feel like anyone that's been like enlightened has had a great run.
Definitely.
And has seen nothing but opportunities. At least I know that, you know, for the past 5 years, I've done nothing but grabbed opportunities.
And there's still opportunities out there now.
Yeah.
And we see
them. Dude, we're setting up a new property, 20 acres.
Yeah.
We just bought it, all that stuff. The land has increased 30%, dude, from September of last year. So, you know, you look at just that as like one example. You got to go. You got to stay hungry. Let's say this. So you're new or you're going hard, you have to continue if you can. Okay? If not, you got to slow down on what it is, the investment to keep the overhead and everything pumping at the end of the day. I truly believe that it's hold on tight, get ready, because the tsunami of opportunities is coming in the next few months.
I saw it this year. Yeah. Where last year, 2023, some people thought, you know, this slowed down for some people. Exactly. A lot of people stopped growing.
And it was a rocket ship.
This spring where there was a massive shortage of some of the top material that moves during spring. This year. Because people didn't plan accordingly. Now, I'm not saying if you only have $100,000, go spend $100,000 and grow more plants. You know, you have to take a look at your books, your projections, where your costs are,
where you can sell it,
your operating income. Correct.
Yeah.
But I don't think that at least it's something that I'm not doing. I'm not stopping operations.
Yeah. So your strategy is continuing to flow.
Of course, yeah.
Continue.
I see the opportunities there. We, like I said, we have the orders for next year. We see it.
Yeah. I know that the markets this year were wild for spring.
Correct.
And we could talk about that real quick. One big factor, do you guys know, you boys out here listening that are local, you guys out here in the industry, what big state was missing this year? What big state was missing this year? It's Texas, guys. Where was Texas? Texas did not come in my opinion, how they normally do. And I saw that big time. People that moved to those markets, that sell in those markets, the percentages were lower because they had a lot of natural disasters going on. Not so much hurricanes, but freezing temperatures, excruciating hot temperatures. And then also you got to think about their economy. It goes back to that middle class. And then the guys doing Airbnb, flipping homes. Where are all those dudes, those influencers that everyone used to watch on Instagram? Where you boys at now?
Yeah.
Right? So that plays a huge part in it. I also saw massive shortages of specific palm trees. Where if you were in the New York, Jersey market, you were in all these different markets, the Canadian market, if you didn't have things pre-booked from 12 months prior, sorry, Charlie, you were out of gas. There was a lot of guys that showed up a month prior thinking they were early, and boy, were they late. And
even field-grown material.
Field-grown material. Dude, we were moving 6-foot-tall Christmas palms.
Well, yeah, that was a triple Christmas palms. Still right now.
Still right now, they're
you're
small.
looking 14, 15 footers. Nobody's got it.
No, but there's a lot of stuff. Fishtail palms.
Fishtail palms are big. Absolutely.
There's a lot of product that there's still a huge shortage on that's going to take a while to get there because people are buying them. I'm still buying fishtails and Christmas palms that aren't even where they should be.
Yeah.
Just because that's where, we got to get it done. So as people go consuming that material, it takes that much longer for that material to show up at a size that's good. One thing I do see today, though, is pretty much every nursery full. I drive down the streets, every nursery's full, and I also see products starting to grow because since everyone's not moving, there's certain people that move. Doesn't matter what's going on, they're still going to continue to move because of their reputation, their connections. But then there's guys that don't have that same reputation or same connections.
Now.
Yeah, so now those guys, they don't have the same amount of volume of sales or opportunity for those sales. They don't know how to create it, which is something that I feel like everybody needs to learn how to do, create opportunities. Their product is starting to grow. So now now we're in a sales game where it's like, okay, you have a window that before there wasn't a window. Before you put it in the ground and it's gone. Now it's like, okay, we're back to the window. We have that 1 to 2 month window of teenager size product to something that's about to be, overgrown, which I would call creme de la creme, at her prime. You have that window. And then you also got to think like you go in a garden center, you're selling a garden center, you can't send them something that's about to be overgrown because now it's going to sit over there for a month. You got to give them that 30-day window. So there's a lot of things now that only the guys that have more structure put in play, that they understand this stuff. I love the fact that you guys are listening to this, because it's going to give you an edge against your competition. If you look at it that way, you're going to have a fantastic, super sharp edge that you're going to be more prepared. You know, what to look for, what to do. I know we're going to see more plants being cut back. We're going to start to see what is the norm before COVID.
Exactly.
The norm before COVID, you know, who's more savvy, who's sharper, who's smarter, who can really go out and make it, you know, make it happen. It's not all social media, guys. As some, you know, Eddie and I talk on that I would love Eddie to touch on. You want to touch on it, Eddie? Because it's your topic. Eddie always rants about this. You want to talk about it?
Which part?
Everyone thinking that social media is the answer.
Yeah, social media is not the answer.
Okay.
The answer is hunting for customers physically.
Physically, the old school way.
The old school way, because everybody thinks that it's easy with Instagram. You post something and you get that instant satisfaction. That I posted something, I put in a little bit of work, but you're not getting a result from that.
It's not the solve all.
No,
it does help. It does.
It's a
I agree
portfolio.
with you. It helps and it assists. But you have to get out there. You have to get out there. You have to go meet your clients. Absolutely, 100%.
That's how, because people have this image that, oh, you know, I'm a poster.
That's a code. That was a COVID era thing. Yeah, you know, you make a post and you sold 100 pounds.
Yeah, no, that dopamine that people still feel like they get once they do a post, it's not creating the sales.
No,
that might get you a person, but that real initial and that face to face, that handshake, that meeting people and being out there and hustling.
Yes.
Not thinking that a post is it. Hustling, you know, going out there and making those connections is what makes a business grow.
And especially in an industry like this industry.
100%. And then you look at our statistics is 10% of the industries on social media with a business account.
Yeah.
Most guys have personal accounts. So then they don't take advantage of any opportunity at all. But then look at the other 90%, these guys aren't on Instagram. And then your client guys, you guys that are growing big numbers of product, your client at the garden center, guess what? Buddy's not on Instagram because he is running a big business and you're not going to get him there. So the only way to go get him is go and shake his hand.
I have several big clients that are not on Instagram. You know, they might have a personal Instagram page where they post photos with their family and stuff, but they don't have business pages.
And they're not on there all day.
No.
And that's what you guys need to, let's say everybody needs to understand. The old school way is the way. Episode 1, I talked about how I would go and put samples in a truck, and I would sleep in the truck 3 days at a time, 3 to 5 days. I would take baths at the rest stops. Some of you guys might say I'm crazy, but hey, guess what? We're here today. And
things like that still work today. You know, for new people that are starting out, that's something that you can do. You know, you load up your pickup truck with some of your product and you go and you shop garden centers, you know, that don't even have to be just in your own area.
Nurseries. You're growing liners, you're growing gallons, starter plants. You need to go on, here's a trick. Yeah. You go on Planet.
It's got the whole list.
And you see who has it, who's selling it in 3 gallon. That's it, you hit them up. Hey, I'm a grower, I have this, I should do starter plants. Boom, guys, come on. It's not rocket science. You should not be worried about making sales if you're doing smaller material, because there's people that need the product. And if they don't need it today, become savvy. Tell them, hey, okay, you don't need anything right now. You're stocked up, but would you like to place an order? Well, you know, what do you sell throughout the year? 5,000? Would you like to pre-book 3? Look, let me pre-book 3 for you. You don't have to give me nothing. I'm going to bring them as samples. Let me get in the door with you. Boom.
And if they don't bite that first time, don't be scared to touch base with them again 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the line.
There you go. Or 2 weeks later.
Yeah, or whatever it is. Yeah.
See if they talk to their wife.
Stay persistent. Stay persistent.
There's a lot. There's a lot of opportunity, guys. And the one thing that at least aligns me and helps me have a clear mind to do that, or that one thing that allows me to see all this, is having a clear mind. You can never feel overwhelmed. You can't think so much in the future, because I feel like that gets you caught up in your head. For me, I'm a guy that's faith-based. So why am I worrying about something that is not in my control?
Yeah.
You get me? I make the best decision today for the future, always thinking about the future, always putting nuts away in the cave to come back later and have some nuts to eat. But at the end of the day, that's where it is. It's set it and forget it. God, you know, you have my destiny. This is my purpose. I'm going to go. I know you're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, it goes back to pushing. Let's talk on this topic. You know, big investment, 20 acres.
Yeah.
It's a $3 million investment overall. And this is something I'm not saying, guys, to boast in any way. I want you guys to listen to this. So as I am there, I see this opportunity. I'm like, okay, the property is $1.8 million. We're getting a deal. Perfect. That means it's 1.8. I got to come up with $500,000 down because that was the structure that was made. And I have to fill it up. It's going to cost close to $1 million.
Yep.
I'm like, is this a good move today? So how did I know it was a good move? It wasn't so much what I felt because my emotions literally were all over the place. It was more of if everything lines up, then it's meant to happen.
Yep.
So I'm looking at, as time goes on, the days go by, the hours go by, things just start aligning. They start aligning. The money aligns.
Look for those signs.
Everything aligned. So then I started looking at the negatives. So it's like, okay, if this was to blow up, what is my worst case with this 20 acres? This, and this. There's no worst case. It's you have to go. So I want you guys to understand that if you're trying to build during this time and you feel a little sketchy, understand that that's sketchy. You need to overcome the sketchy. And how do you overcome the sketchy? By looking at the data. Look at what you like, what's going on in your life, and see if everything is aligning to be able to make that possible for you, and you go based off that. That's something that I wanted to touch on because I feel like that's something powerful that a lot of you guys that are really pushing here, regardless of what you're trying to do, whether it's a business, start a business, or you're trying to become better, you're trying to learn more, wherever you're at in the green industry, guys, use that, because I feel like that can be used in many different ways. Even with a job, getting a new job opportunity, a new position, you can use it that way too.
Yeah, it can be applied into a lot of different things.
Yeah, if everything aligns, you go. Even with planting, I do the same thing with planting. If the pot showed up and the soil's rich and the guys are smiling, they're gonna plant it and everything. I'm like, bro, these plant, we're gonna bang them out of the park.
It's gonna go faster, greener,
it's
bigger,
gonna
fatter,
be
better.
These guys are gonna be singing to these plants, making them grow. So that's that.
That's a lot of mindset too, That plays also too in a lot of mindset. You gotta try to be positive and open your eyes and find the opportunity that's out there.
Yeah, for me, the faith has a huge thing to play with.
100%.
It's huge. So it's like if I trust God, like I say I do, why am I worrying? At the end of the day, his destiny is like whatever's meant for me is meant for me. So if I'm in a bad place, if I have him backing me up, I should not be worried.
Yeah.
I should not be upset. I should be positive. Yeah. I should have a smile on my face because I know that he's putting me through whatever this is to get me ready for whatever's coming.
Yep.
He needs to get us all prepared.
Yeah.
You get me? So I feel like that's a great way of looking at it, and that's why you gotta be fearless. Only fear him at the end of the day.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to touch on now that I was talking about the property is the importance of assets, the importance of building assets over time, and what that does once you're rolling, on the hamster wheel, let's say. You get the car rolling, which is now, set it many years ago, and now over time your assets start to come in clutch when you need them the most.
Correct.
And how valuable it is. Would you say it's very valuable to have a paid off inventory and to have real estate, or to have trucks paid, or to have even the things that you have, maybe I think stocks or whatever it is?
I think that assets are huge. I think that having as much assets as possible paid off is huge. I also think that that's another issue. While we're seeing such a big slowdown now, is I think a lot of people over leverage themselves
depending on cash
liabilities,
depending on cash flow.
Yes, depending on cash flow, and not seeing that this was eventually going to go back to somewhat normal. But I think assets are huge.
I feel for me, assets play part of the portfolio in general. I look at everything as a portfolio. A business, so you hear a business, I did $1 million this year. That's cash flow.
Yep.
That can stop tomorrow. That can go down 90% tomorrow. So you don't really want to rely on that. So then the other part of the portfolio is assets that go up in value. So now you have something called equity. So a company that is making cash flow needs to not consume the cash flow for themselves, but go putting it into what is assets, so they can go growing as well. So a business that has all these things, guys,
that's
something very important to know is that those that have a business that creates flat cash flow but also has assets, we're making money through all different types of ways. Like I said, the property went up 33% and it's been 10 months. That's a form of money being created, money being made. The portfolio grew, you know.
Well, now you have equity in it, right? So, and it's good to have that because now, for instance, in slow times, let's say you weren't able, you know, the company doesn't have X amount of cash that's needed to grow for your projections for the following year. If you have those assets, those equities, you know, you can take a loan within your means, of course, you know, which is tax-free. You know, once you take the loan, it's tax-free. And you can still continue to grow during slower times.
Yeah.
You know?
That they're huge lifelines, and at the end of the day, your assets...
They can be.
There.
Yeah, they can be. And at the end of the day, they're assets.
For me, I look at the portfolio, and it's not just what... like, if you look at a whole portfolio, cash is a small
Minimal
percentage
part of it,
of literally, it's a small thing, and you want that. I feel like anybody that is an aggressive, let's say, wealth builder... cash is not something they have big in their portfolio because they use the cash to go get more, you know, assets.
Well, if you don't, that cash is just every year it just goes down
taxes
without you touching it.
Well, yeah, taxes
it just goes
and
down
inflation
and down without you touching
paying taxes, all this stuff.
So yeah, so that's why cash and you know is not the top thing.
Yeah, and then for me too, like looking at the big picture. I know that over time things are going to become more expensive. So I'm looking at, let's say, the debt I've acquired today, these payments, it's going to be easier to make the payment.
Yes.
I look at it like that because as prices of product goes up higher, it's going to be easier for me to make the same payment that hasn't moved for 30 years.
Correct.
Okay, so that is a big plus. I'm also getting money out of cash that today, guys, if you don't know, the dollar isn't backed by the oil anymore, right? It's free trade through the BRICS. So when you look at that stuff, it's like, you know, yeah, I'm going to have my reserve. I'm going to have what I need. I'm going to keep the money in the bank because, you know, what I'm going to do, go crypto. You know, that's not how this industry works. I'm not going to be trading gold and silver coins yet. We're not, you know, that's not a thing.
We're not,
you know, have some gold and silver
there,
if you're into that, you know, but that is, I feel like everybody should have something if you have a lot of cash sitting there.
Yeah, and having a cash reserve is important too. You know, you got to have some type of cash reserve.
But assets allow you to, if another currency comes out, your asset, you can instantly change it into anything, you know, any type of currency from anywhere in the world, which it might get tougher to do or the dollar, you know, devaluates. So it's a lot of things that go into that over time you go consuming that stuff. You know, I'm into that. So I go consuming that stuff, and that's just part of, let's say, what helps me make better decisions. Yeah. You know, running a portfolio of the size that I get to run. But tell me about the real estate, dude, because we talked like 2 months ago, and you told me that there was a property right next door to you that sold for how much an acre?
They were selling the property next to me. I think it was like 3.3 million. It didn't sell. It's actually somebody started. For sale. No, somebody started a nursery on it now.
So they rented
just recently now.
So they rented.
They rented it out.
$3.3 million.
Yeah.
And that's a property that was what 5-6 years ago.
Oh man.
750.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's crazy.
That goes back to assets, right?
It goes back to
assets.
By
real estate, your dollar doesn't make that much money sitting in a bank account.
So if someone asks you, oh, how much you made this year, for me, I don't answer that question because it's no one's business. But I think of my mind instantly takes me to how much money the business profited.
Yep.
And then how much my assets grew.
Yep.
Like legit.
Legitimate, yeah.
So when you look at it, it's like, oh, wow, it's a lot more than what you think, you know? And assets have been a huge player.
Yeah, right? You have to take that value into too. You know, you have to take that asset growth.
Without assets, we wouldn't be here today.
No,
like legit, we would not be here today.
No,
you know, with everything just how it is, I feel like the assets have been a huge thing, and all I want to do is continue to get more assets.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a guy the other day over here, guys, that has 200 acres now out here, and you know he paid minimal for most of that. And you know, at $250K an acre, he's at $50 million just in real estate, in bare land. That to me, that's like the token.
I mean, you see the prices that that properties are going for here right now.
There's
in comparison to 5 years ago. To just 5 years ago.
Just 5 years ago. Yeah, it's wild. So
Yeah.
the opportunities are definitely there. Real quick, a word from our sister company, the sponsor that makes all of this happen, A's Ornamental Nursery. Man, when we started off, our mission was to make a difference, make an impact with the product. We definitely have done that, but we've kicked it up many notches, servicing landscapers that were tired of looking for product, garden centers tired of looking for product, tying it all up together, delivering it, locating it, delivering it, getting it done, saving so much time, giving you guys back your life is what we've really done. Find problems, create solutions, team up with great people, and build lifetime bonds through relationships that really make an impact. So with that being said, guys, reach out 305-216-5320. Ask for Daisy. Tell her you got a list. We'll get an estimate back to you within 48 hours, and let's start it. Now let's get back into the episode. Okay, so let me get to different things that I wanted to ask you. And if you have anything to ask me, we'll go through this now, and then after that, we'll answer the questions for you guys. I have here, everything should have a strategy. What is your current strategy, game plan for today? I know you touched on the product, but get a little bit deeper if you can, just to guide anyone that might be listening that can benefit from this.
As far as strategy goes,
what's your strategy?
My business?
With your business, what is it?
I mean, again, and everybody's different. You got to take a look at your own things. But right now, I'm still heavily investing into my company as far as growing and restructuring to where my sales are.
Okay.
And just growing more heavy there.
Okay, the markets over this last spring, things might have changed. So let's say Canada normally buys 60%.
Yeah.
And this year they bought 50. So and then New York was missing product. Yeah, are you shifting in any way when it comes to who your clients are in those areas?
No, in that sense, no. As far as the clients, no. But, I have my own niche market in a sense.
100%. We all do.
I got a couple people, in the islands that, that I work with. One specifically, we've both grown together.
Okay. That's awesome.
My New York guys, they're extremely good friends of mine.
Shout out to you boys because you guys always follow us on social media and you always say what's up. So we love you guys. We love you guys. Yeah.
So we're with those guys, we talk a lot, all year round. Obviously, like I said, we're friends too. We become friends through business and 100%. Before that. Mm-hmm. So just to grow more of the stuff that we're going to be needing for those type of markets.
And I know they saw massive shortages in specific things.
Yeah.
The ones that weren't prepared.
Yeah.
So that means that there was a lot of guys that weren't prepared that this year.
I said one of the biggest thing was triple Christmas palms, especially field growns, in that 14 or 15. So those are things that, we have to plan for ahead. So, not just yet, but come November, December, I'll start buying product, that I feel that we'll have a shortage.
Yeah, we're definitely getting way more ramped up.
Yeah. Yes.
We did very good, but we sold all of it, and we were able to purchase stuff because we do broker. So I was able to.
Yeah, we sold out this year.
A lot.
We sold out this year by the end of May. We were done. We were sold out.
Yeah.
Pretty much of everything. Yeah. But we planned it quickly, heavily. We increased, our numbers for next year on all the material for the spring. In the fall, I call it tree season.
Okay.
In the fall time, after hurricane season, we do a lot of trees. Landscapers, developers down here, a lot to the islands after hurricane season. So we've upped our growing for that as well.
Yeah, no, that's good. So the strategy stays
ultimately,
strong.
My strategy stays the same,
Yeah. Stay the same, grow a fire product, keep coming through.
But I do evaluate and base, my stuff off of now. I look back at, I like to look back 3 years. So I'm right now 2017 to 2019, not the COVID era because that was totally different.
That's totally
and
different.
I think that's what we're going to go back to right now.
I feel like we're definitely going back.
In a sense, I still think
we all grew though. Like everybody grew.
Yeah. I don't think that growth is going to come back down to what we were selling back in those years. But I think we're going to see, the same slow months we had there. Yeah. That's what we're going to see. So, and just staying prepared for
the
that.
Seasons.
Yeah.
We're going to get back to a season because
keeping a little bit extra cash now because, to be able to buy material and, pre-purchase a lot of material. For those times.
Okay, so that's a good strategy.
Yep.
Okay, guys, so for those of you going, you already know. Listen to people that have been doing this for a while. If you can, go get it. go create it, go buy it, go, you know,
Yeah, create it
fearlessly.
now. You can't sit around.
Fearlessly go and
sit
do
around.
this, set it and forget it. You
Yeah.
know, if you have money sitting there, you shouldn't. Remember, money in the bank does nothing but
Yep.
lose its value. So you want to be able to like really go. And it's tough to say it because everyone's different. And I don't want you guys to go do something crazy and then lose it all. But you know what? That might be the best thing that ever happens to you, bro. You know, like at the end of the day, you go hard, you lose it all, and you learn a lot, and you lost 30 grand. And now the next year you come, or the next time you go do it, you come so prepared because you learn so much that you make 400,000. What?
I've been there,
For 30, I'll trade 30. I'll trade 30 for 400.
Yeah,
you know, but you got to think positive. You got to have a good
Yeah.
attitude, and you got to be ready to, you know, for war at the end of the day. Have a game plan.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's one thing I wanted to talk about. So just based off of everything, and I feel like you're a very well put together person. You're a father. You're a husband. One of my questions are: how is your current mindset to stay focused, juggling work, family, and your time? Like you to have your own free time, because you need your own free time just to think. How are you able to juggle all that and the mindset behind all that?
I mean, my wife works with
you?
us. Yeah, she's you know, part owner of the company, and an extremely valuable asset. We took our first vacation this year since 2021.
Wow.
So that was a little bit of us.
Congrats.
Time,
Congrats.
with
man.
the kids, the whole family.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
but you got to figure that out too. You know, I mean, you can't neglect, you know, self time and family time. That's also vital too to help you keep that mindset, that positivity, and help keep your eyes open and see those opportunities.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, for me, just to touch on it, I look at everything as let's say an investment.
Yeah.
You know, it could be an investment, and just like we invest into our business to grow,
We got to invest into our family.
we got to invest into our family. It gets touchy, the topic, because, you know, the big boys that run these billion-dollar companies, that everything is work, 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 and I understand that. I believe that 1,000%. And that's exactly what it needs to be. If you don't have kids, you don't have a family, you don't have none of that. If you are spending any time doing anything but trying to figure it out, then you're not going to figure it out as fast as you could have.
Yeah.
Okay, in all reality. But
And we were just saying it, time flies.
Time flies.
You know, our kids start to get older.
Yeah.
Mine are both in high school now this year.
Yeah. You got to spend that time. You don't get it back.
You got to spend the time too.
Yeah. So, like, if you're listening and you're young, like, guys, the advantage that you have over the majority is ridiculous.
It's the time.
But then there's also people that are listening that have two kids that are trying to figure it out, that are at the point in their life where, like, yo, I'm in my 30s, I'm in my mid-30s. You know, what am I going to do? You know, who am I becoming? I need to become, you know, better. And their light bulbs are starting to turn on. It's not easier, I can tell you that. It's definitely tougher because there's, you know, the money you make has to go to feed the family as well. That's why it becomes tougher. That's why the younger generation, you know, has a better advantage.
It's also a good driving force.
1,000%. 1,000%.
It's
So
a very good
there
driving
you
force.
give up, let's say, you know, time with the family, but you're going and making an impact doing what you're doing. That's going to propel you forward. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about. So, guys, we have these questions, like I said earlier, that came on to Instagram that I feel like are super powerful. The fact that these guys, I'm going to give them shout outs now, took the time to think of a question and reach out and DM it to us, I think is massive. I think that this needs to become more of of something. You know, at the end of the day, you know, there's a lot of knowledge and wealth, you know, through wisdom here. Just with the two individuals that are sitting here that have been in the industry our whole lives, that have, you know, invested fearlessly and believed in the process and understand the markets, understand what our customers really need and how to pivot, how to create opportunities. We have done a lot of that stuff. And I feel like people in the industry can benefit immensely from us answering a question. It can propel you forward in a big way, like a coach, a mentoring and anything. And before we jump into it, I just want to let you guys know that you can go to theplantmovement.com, and if you're looking for any type of guidance, you can reach out there. We offer mentoring and coaching. All right, guys, we want you guys to really shine and grow. And there's a lot of ways that you can be plugged up. If you're not plugged up yet, you can jump on there. We can get a session going, we can talk, and we can plug you in with people that we know that can benefit from what you're trying to do. That's what we're trying to do here. It's not so much, make money. It's with that
No,
service.
I think you're on the same page. We want every single person in this industry to do well.
100%. That's why we're here
and
today.
grow a lot. Yeah, because
the mindset.
we all need each other's product and
100%.
plants and palms.
A small mindset, like look at
and
us.
I have people that I call and I talk, older guys in the industry, and that I call and I talk to, and and I ask questions to, and
yeah, I feel like everybody can benefit from a good mentor. Before I jump into these questions, guys, for any of you guys, we would love to interview you. I am dying to get people on that are new, that are fresh, that have a vision, so we can talk about it and just pour into that vision and bring you guys on and record it and shoot it out. You guys might think that you don't have any value to add to what we're doing here because you don't have the wisdom to back it up and all of this stuff. But you know what you do have? You have courage. And the courage goes a lot further than the wisdom can, because that's how you gain wisdom, by having courage. So I would love to just talk to you guys. So don't feel any type of way. All right, here we go. Question number 1. So we have Serenity Tree Brokers. Shout out to you guys. What opportunities do you currently see for young plant brokers? I'll let you go first, Alfredo.
The need still for material.
Okay.
The construction industry is still moving. The lack of tree brokers right now. There's a lot of people started nurseries. A lot of us in nurseries. I think there's an immense amount of opportunities for new tree brokers.
Yeah. So the question.
And people that are young, that are still, they're just getting into it. They're gonna have that, little tiny bit of extra drive, even.
Yeah.
That's gonna make a big impact.
Yeah, 100%. I see a lot of opportunity, dude, for you that reached out and asked this question as a young plant broker. One thing in the newer generation is they're lacking the knowledge. They're lacking the understanding of what's needed. I've said this on podcasts before. It's very easy. You can go into any garden center. You can ask them, hey, what do you get calls for all the time that you're having trouble finding? Boom. You reach out. You do that. You get that list. You go find it. You present it. It's a good quality product. You're going to learn about quality. You're going to learn about different standards of product and all of that, which the better, the fluffier, the prettier, the greener. You're going to be able to sell it for more. You're going to be able to shake hands with better people that their checks don't bounce. You're going to learn a lot. Okay, and then now you're creating an opportunity. I feel like you guys as brokers need to learn how to create the opportunities, and you got to create the opportunity with the product and also create it with a service. If you get an opportunity to jump in with a large garden center, whoever it may be, a big landscaper, be confident. Okay, have the people under your belt that that can come through for you as well, because like I service brokers at A's that these guys wouldn't be able to do it if they didn't have us on their team. But since they have us on their team, the confidence level that they have is on another level, because they have someone like us that's like, dude, we got you, we're done. Yeah, well, dude, in 3 hours, yeah, bro, in 3 hours we'll be there. Yeah. So like that also is a huge part in it. Get savvy with Plant. I've said it before on a podcast. This is stuff I just said. This is not new stuff. If you want to, get any coaching or mentoring catered to you, reach out. Go on plannet.com, see what people have, and you can repost different things. I wouldn't do the pictures, but I would, do list of product. And then go take your own pictures. Be on top of things. They have a bar there that if it's green.
Don't get fearful to drive around
don't
nurseries
get
and go take a look at material. Know what's out there.
You go to any nursery. Look, you can come to my nursery. You can go to Alfredo's nursery. And you can say, hey, I'm a new broker, and I'm collecting samples to try to push this product.
Yep.
I will give you samples. He will give you samples. Okay, and now you go hunting and you go figure it out. I feel like just going and doing that, you are already standing out amongst the majority, because the majority are like, what are we going to do?
They sit down.
And that's the majority, guys. When you act and you go create and you're moldable and you're ready for whatever, and you're just like, yo, let's go do it. I got to get this done. There's no other option, dude. You're going to become a beast, a savage. You're going to learn a lot. So even if you don't make money, you're going to make, you're going to gather up information. That's what's going to turn it into, money at the end of the day. Okay, so next question. We have 2 questions from Botanical Green Farm. So shout out to you guys. First question. What would you tell your younger selves when you were first starting off in the industry? We got to go way back.
A lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of things. Yeah. I relate to a lot of it because, like I said, I'm continuing to go hard and treading waters I've never been in,
I surely would have put more money into the business, acquired more assets in that time, and marketed a lot heavier, put myself out there a lot more places. I would have hit it harder. That's for sure.
Hit it harder.
Yeah.
I love that, bro. What an awesome answer, bro. Man, for me, I felt like I didn't lose too much opportunity because I've been grabbing opportunity since I started. Is there lost opportunity? Obviously, there's lost opportunities that weren't grabbed. For me, it's knowing your place. If you have a product and you're growing something, or if you're a broker and you're buying product, like, be confident in what you bring to the table and really spend time trying to be the best at what you do. That in turn creates confidence. Don't bend over backwards for people, because people at the end of the day, they're just using you. Don't forget that. How can you say it? Respect yourself, so to speak.
Highly important.
Yeah, highly important. One of the hardest things that I've focused on really hard, that it has been a goal of mine, is to have a good reputation and then have that level of respect from my peers and people around me. That's something that I've worked very hard on doing. So, and make every decision, make the right one, the one that feels right. Okay. For me, and make connections. You can have one customer, help you surf the wave.
Yep.
You don't need 1 million followers. You don't need none of that. Like Eddie said, a video is not going to do it for you. It'll help. It'll be a portfolio, 24 hours online. Great. But you got to go shake hands. Don't be scared. Learn to be a salesman. I did sales. I feel like I'm here because of sales. I was able to really just, bring that edge to the table, where in 10, 20 seconds, whoever was on the other line knew that guy wasn't playing. Yeah. And that's all you need to stand out at the end of the day, 20 seconds. Next question from Botanical Green Farms. Thank you, Brian. Great question. Also, here we go. What would be your advice for someone that's still young in the industry? It goes back to that. It goes back to creating, the best product you can if you're growing. If you're brokering, have a lot of options. Know where everything is.
Yeah, hit the road.
Hit the road, man. Hit the road,
If you don't
Jack.
have orders, go to 100 different nurseries.
So the one thing you wanted to touch on off the other question about your younger self?
Maintain your reputation.
Yeah.
Your self-respect and your reputation. That's enormous in this industry. You don't want to shut your doors in this industry. Do the right thing. Respect yourself, but do the right thing by your, the people that you're buying from, the people that you're selling to. Pay good.
Honesty.
Have a good reputation. Yeah, stay honest.
Like just to give you an idea, reputation, you can go buy $1 million worth of product with a handshake. No papers.
You can't buy reputation.
You could do so much with a reputation, and that's something I was talking to Eddie about today. I filmed a video that we're going to post up, and it's talking about how people lack that. They don't take that as, it's like, oh, I want to build my credit. It's like, dude, your word sucks.
Yeah.
And then if you want to create an opportunity for you, people are like, bro, how do I create opportunity? I don't have money. You don't need money to come through.
Yeah, correct.
You need an opportunity to then now shed a positive light on that, do something in the right way, and all that's going to do is open more doors.
And you can create your own opportunities without having a pocket full of money either.
With $0.
Yeah, you can create that opportunity.
100%. So that's good you brought that back up. So thank you, my brother and his girl. So these are two people that they grow crotons.
Yep.
Yeah. So shout out to you guys. I love you guys. Okay, so next one, we got Izzy's Nursery. Izzy's Nursery comes from the west coast of the United States. He asked pros and cons having full-time salespeople or using brokers. So I'm assuming what he wants to ask is, what are the pros and cons of having a full salesperson versus just using a broker? So there's a lot of ways that we can take this, but you go first and then I'll go in with what I think. Pros and cons of having a full-time salesperson versus using a broker.
I think our situations are a little bit different. I think
for everybody.
Yeah, for everybody. I am my salesperson for my company. I've never wanted, just me and my wife are the salespeople for the company. So
I know, but okay, so you guys as a salesperson,
it's a little different.
you know what? I guess it's different. So you're not using a broker for anything. You are the broker.
Yeah.
In your world.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I do have, I got guys that work with me, not on payroll, but they work with me that, we'll use them.
Vendors.
Not that, but, brokers that'll source material for me, bring it in. Obviously, sometimes I get busy, right? I load trucks at the farm too. I spray for like.
We have brokers that if we can't find stuff, I'll tell them, dude, look, man, just tell me where it is. I'll give you 50 cents.
Yeah, I got guys that,
whatever it is.
I send them over a list and they bring it over and
all of that.
Yeah.
So for me, guys, the pros of having a salesperson is they are focused 100% of their job is to create sales. Okay, so if you are an owner-operator and you're at the point now that you need to have your time because it's more valuable, you're at that point, okay, overwhelmed, then you get a salesperson, and that salesperson is going to pump sales. They're going to do cold calls. They're going to blast emails. They're going to take pictures. They're going to update Planet. They're going to update Bedrock. They're going to go shake hands. They're going to go meet people. They're going to go to the shows. They're going to go here. They're going to go there. That is their job. So someone like that, I will put them in the Grant Cardone 10X program, something like that, so they can really learn how to generate sales and stand out.
I mean, the benefit is that that's what they're doing 100%.
That's what they're doing.
Which does give you the opportunity to do other things too,
that's a
within
pro.
your business.
That's a pro, right? That's a pro for a business. Now, what's the cons of that? The cons of that is, let's say they can't generate sales. You still got to pay them. Okay, obviously, if there's a commission there, they don't get it, so you kind of save on that. But I don't see a whole lot of cons from having somebody there. If they're the right fit for the company, for the office, they fit well. If they're negative and they're nasty, and that's a whole nother thing. We're looking at this as like a job title, but everyone comes with a different package, different, everyone has their own demons. That would be the con. I really don't see anything else, that can be a con by having a salesperson. If you don't have the right salesperson, I can see it as a con. Someone that might be a little lazy or negative or make excuses, all of that crap. Like, bye. There's no time for that.
Yeah, as long as they're producing, I don't really think there would be a con.
There would be a con. I don't see a con.
As long as they're producing.
Now, let's say versus now a broker. It all depends on, so I would say a broker would be more like a buyer. Like if a business had a buyer, it's different. Brokers, guys, at the end of the day, I'm a huge broker. We broker, millions of dollars out here. You broker.
I think we're all brokers.
At the end of the day, I feel like people work with who comes through. People work with who they like. People that they work with people that can benefit them. People that they can trust. People they know that come through. So the more you come through, the more opportunities you have. If you have an opportunity to do $100,000 list for a client, that's because they trust you or they're giving you the opportunity. You come through, bam, the sky's the limit. That's what I've learned. But like brokers save, let's say, garden centers and landscapers crazy amount of time because they do all the legwork for you. And like one thing I preach here is that we save our clients 50% of their time. It does save them.
Which is true, yeah.
Which is true. So some of these guys that are going hard, they have a lot of projects lined up. It's great because they get to bang them out quicker. Yep. Faster turnaround times. And then let's say someone that isn't into cramming work and making becoming a $20 million mogul, they want time to go play baseball with the kids. They want to go fishing. They want to go do this. So that creates the time for just more of like enjoyment of life, more full fulfillment of life, which is something that I feel like I'm after and you're out. Like it gets to a point where we realize that money is not the golden ticket. Life is the golden ticket, and you need money. Yes,
you need a little bit of it, but you want to live a little bit.
You need.
Yep.
So that's that question. So then the last question that we have, one of his buddies reached out and he wrote, "Can we ask if the infrastructure bill has affected the landscaping and nursery industry? If so, how?" So the infrastructure bill, guys, let me read it what it is. The mission: to protect and preserve our natural resources and provide efficient and accessible neighborhood and related environmental infrastructure services that enhance quality of life for all our residents. So you were telling me, because I looked into this and I couldn't find much on how that would affect us. It was more, you're talking about the roads and stuff like that, more for construction.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I would just touch the top of that, really, not to go through the entire bill. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff in there. I think it had a name. Curtis works. He's a salesman for Dobbs Equipment,
Okay.
Construction side. They sell John Deere equipment.
Yeah. No, we use them.
So yeah. So it did. I think it did impact, that industry positively. As far as the infrastructure part of the bill went, which in turn did give us, something, obviously, because we go hand in hand with construction.
Okay.
There's a lot of other stuff in that bill that I think would have
stuff.
negatively impacted industries, positively impact industries. But that's going to go super political.
Yeah. Well, we got holes over here in all our roads, so they can come and spend some of that money over here. Yeah, like here. When you leave here, get ready. There's 72 holes right there off the other side of 202.
I live down south, and the road over there. I mean, you almost gotta veer off on the easement.
Miami-Dade. I know the taxes that we pay are agriculture, but keep us up to date, guys. All right. I don't have much else to say other than thank you, brother, for coming.
Yeah, definitely, man. My pleasure.
I feel like this is a milestone for the industry. Just two people that do similar things working together and being able to talk, and then just the honesty that you brought, the honesty that I was able to bring, and really educating the industry and doing something powerful for the generations to come. And the people that are our age or even older that want to get in, or that they're stuck or whatever it may be, I feel like this was very, very good.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a great industry to be in. And, and I hope we see a lot of younger, the younger generation join the industry.
Yeah.
And
I feel like over time, once they get more tools in the bag, they understand things. I feel like that's the generation we're going to see that start off, let's say, mowing lawns, then getting into landscaping, then maybe plant brokering, then maybe, hey, let's start a nursery. Or let's have a garden center. I feel like over time, they'll evolve.
Yeah, definitely.
So, guys, we love you. If you need anything from us, you already know, reach out. And like always, guys, stay tuned. If you stayed to the end of the episode, we love you guys. God bless you, and let's go. Bye.
Strive for improvement. Time for the blueprint. Minds to elevate, thrive, and demonstrate, planting a movement. Sow the seeds, educate the flourish, building up the team. Our network with purpose, industry is green. We've only scratched the surface, know this calling is deep. Nobody gon' outwork us. Yeah, we chasing greatness, trying to give the code. Moving up with patience, foundation stone. Doing what it takes, we're here to break the mold. This for anyone who wanna level up. Let's grow.